Brothers Motors, guys. Get a load of this. This is a ProMaster, guys, 1500. Now I'm getting ready to do a tune-up. Now this is one of those jobs where the customer supplied their own parts. All right, y'all know me. I like to use Mopar parts because they are quality, right? NGK. All right, I wouldn't say nothing's wrong with that. In fact, the plugs that it calls for will say Mopar, but likely say something like Champion or either NGK. So there's nothing wrong with that. All right, now he also wanted, he got a misfiring cylinder too, but get this. He wanted me to do all the coils. All right, normally I don't suggest replacing all the coils until there's a problem, but some people like to act proactively. Okay, here's the old coil. As you can see, it's Mopar. Now think about this truck got almost 200,000 miles, and look, they wait to the very last freaking minute. Y'all see that plug? This is number 2. I wanted to do that one first to see what I was up against. All right, now forget that. Now get a load of these coils that he got me. CarQuest. All right, anybody out there familiar? These gonna last. But the unique thing I like about CarQuest coils is, get this, they already got them pre-greased. All right, this is where most of the stick come from, when you rip the coil out, and they come like that already. As you can see, got it in that one. So unique. All right, how long will they last? I don't know. They feel kind of durable. I don't know. It's not my call. I put on whatever you give me. Now, if y'all look at this little apparatus right here, you can see where I had a misfiring cylinder 2. I checked the injector. I own out the injector in cylinder 2. It's within spec, so chances of that being a problem is slim to none. But I'm convinced I'm on to something, right? All right, because this thing was idling rough at idle only. Even if you bog it down, power boosted, yeah, it's hard to get it to misfire. It's hard to misfire. Now this is a short video, guys. As I was saying, I might got lucky. It might just actually be this the tune-up causing this, but let me explain something to you. You got a misfire that only misfire at idle. Keep in mind, I'm looking at my scan tool, looking at which cylinder is misfire. I can see cylinder 2 counting. Now normally on a secondary misfire failure or secondary ignition part failure, you can produce that or reproduce that misfire under a load, because that's when the ignition system is, you know, really active. Under a load, the spark has to be there, everything has to be on point. So I will power boost it, you know, where you put your foot on the gas and the brake, no misfire counters whatsoever. The minute I let it go back down to idle, ooh. So you got to be careful with that, guys, because that can be anything from a burnt valve to an actual injector. Now the unique thing about the injectors is they've been known, they're pretty good about storing a fault code. All right, so but I didn't have a code. I decided to ohm it out anyway, because if it failed, I was going to put one on it. All right, I'm not going to put all this back together just to find out it was actually the injector. But I need y'all to be mindful of that, misfires. Now, I've been known to tell people that ask me, this is a fact. There's a major difference between a rough idle and a misfire. Do they feel the same? Similar. They can be, you can get this with a rough idle as well as a misfire. So you got to be, that's why a scan tool nowadays, back in the day it wasn't that important, but a scan tool nowadays is crucial to properly diagnose these cars. Scan tools now, you can look at which cylinder actually misfiring. Remember the scope we used to use, the big scope? We had to put it on each plug wire. Yeah, no more of that nonsense. All right, we passed that. So you really need a scan tool if you're trying to diagnose today's modern cars. All right, I think yeah, good call. All right, because I was doubting, I didn't diagnose it. How much you charge to do such and such? Okay, this is my price. Boom, let's get it. All right, so let me finish this. I only did 2. Like I say, I wanted to verify, and the weird thing, you got to move the intake to get to 2. So now I can remove the intake and properly do the job. I wanted to make 100% sure that my problem was in cylinder 2. You know what I'm gonna do, since I'm already here? I'm gonna whip out my compression gauge. All right, when I get to split them off, I'm gonna do all the cylinders. Like I say, ProMaster with over 200,000 miles, guys, you got to make sure the engine, each cylinder, it's a V6, okay, each cylinder has a responsibility. It has a load to carry. If one cylinder off, all bets off. Okay, yeah, you're gonna the engine gonna be out of balance, and you're gonna have all kinds of crazy nonsense. So no matter what none of this matters if one cylinder compression is low. The best time to do a compression test is when you're doing a tune-up. you already have all the plugs out. I've been known to do a compression test on individual cylinders, but that don't make sense. You need something to compare it to. All right, just say for instance, if I can only gain access to this because it's kind of tight. Yeah, I would do a compression on this, but I don't have nothing to compare it to unless I do other cylinders. So try and do a compression test on multiple cylinders. Try to do it the way it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be done on multiple cylinders. But again, these ComQuest, I like that though. I like that. I always put, I can't, the name is on the top of my head. Anybody want to call it out for me? Golly, it's not silicone. It's not degreaser. Damn. Okay. They'll probably think I'm crazy, but it comes now Mopar, don't get it twisted. The last Mopar coil I got had the pretty orange stuff in here as well. In fact, yeah, here it is. Dielectric grease. This is what I put on every coil I take off. Every tune-up that I do, get this put on. Now, if you get a good look at this, it says core dielectric grease. All right, it's not your regular, ordinary dielectric grease. This is Mopar, baby. This ain't Derman, okay? Derman don't know nothing about this. This is Mopar dielectric grease. And get a load of this. Get the color. You see that? So this was put on a lot of the Gen 3 engines, core. So that's probably what this is. Same color and everything. All right, so yeah, core dielectric grease. I'm assuming it's meant for, high voltage cores. All right, it says core dielectric grease. Can you use any dielectric grease? Perhaps. I don't know. But I always use this on every tune-up. Like I say, I usually put some like right there. So when I push it down, the next guy, he gonna thank me. Thank you, whoever the last JT the car guy, the last guy that did the tune-up on this, because it's just gonna pull it right up. Okay. So guys, I got work to do. Let me knock this out real quick. I don't plan on being here all day. I'm just fascinated by, look at CarQuest. Oh, look at the little pretty car. I got the dielectric grease on it and everything already. That's so cute. I got 6. I wonder how much this costs. And they premium. So maybe that's why they got the dielectric grease already on it. I don't know. I'm talking too much. Y'all hate when I do a lot of talking. I don't have a tripod, guys. I can't film me doing this. In fact, it's so damn easy. Typical tune-up on a 3.6 Pentastar. I just had to remove a bunch of stuff up here. But other than that, easy peasy, greasy leasy. All right? Got my electric too. I don't got no air over here. So, guys, make sure. Look at that. Yeah, that means this drain is blocked off. That could have been catastrophic, okay? If that get down on those bolts, it's going to rust out. And you're going to ruin this whole damn manifold. Clean this drain tube out. All right, I'm going to blow out, make sure that water can get in there and fall down instead of falling on the intake. This is bad. Don't let this happen to your ProMaster or it could be catastrophic. I got to go.